So we're back and let's see what we have on the folder. Okay, so you will see that we have some Firebase files, okay, that those are installed or added when we run the ng add Angular Fire. And let's actually come here. I have this one open, of course. Let's open this one with code, and let's add our configuration. Okay, so this is going to be a short video. We're going to build, or we're going to continue now with, let's close that, with creating the components, the routing, and we're going to add inside our environments or configuration from Firebase. Remember that even though we already have Firebase installed with the modules, we still need to use the configuration they provide us here, okay, in order to bind correctly this application that was just created into the whole application environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is come back here, and now we can use git bash. You can use whatever you want. Okay, so we are going to say ng generate component. Okay, that let me see which components we're going to need. We're going to say add post. So this is the first component we're going to build. Okay, let's give it a second. Now we're going to say ng generate component. We're going to require the main component. Okay, and the last one is going to be the post, that is going to have the individual post, and this one also will also contain the delete and edit functionality. We're going to create a model in a second, and let's add the routing. I always forget this thing, so let's come back here and say Angular navigation. Okay, this one, the first one, and let's find the command that we need. Okay, they changed this thing, it seems. So what we are going to look for is the routing module. So this one should, okay, routing module. So let's scroll. I don't like this kind of navigation because it throws me off. So we're going to copy this one, ng generate module, inside the app module. This is going to be generated. Okay, let's add that and let's say enter. So it actually does this, and we have this now. We have the routing, we have the setup. So let's say ng serve, and this should run. It should take a little bit, but now since we have this one open with all the things we need, you can see the components. Let's add the configuration and let's import inside our module. Okay, you can see that it's running, so let's take a look at that. Let's say http localhost 4200. Okay, so you can see we get this, everything is running. Right now we are not lazy loading anything. We have the components, but we don't have the routing. Okay, so we will add that as we go. But let's copy this. We need this, copy this, and let's this one. Okay, let's go to environments and add it after a comma. Okay, let's add it here. Sorry, this one should be like this: Firebase, okay, an object, and inside this just paste what you have. You will need this one too if you want, okay, to send this into production. So you will need the same configuration here. So let's actually go to the app module.ts, And we're going to do a few things before we start working. Remember that we already have, so let's delete all this crap. Post, main at post, and we're going to keep app component. Okay, because what we're going to do is a lazy load the components. So we're going to do that in a second. We still need to add to change the routing, okay, and add all the modules. That we're going to do that in the next video, because although it's not hard, I'm just going to copy and paste a bunch of things, so I ready to have that in a single video, so you can always go there and see what's added. Okay, so we're going to import actually Angular Fire. So let's say import, I'm going to type this because this is going to be a short video anyways, Angular. Well, let's say this so we can see what we are getting. Let's say from, we have Angular Fire, okay, installed, so you can see it gives us the folder, and what we need here is the Angular Fire module. You can see that we have that. So now you can see that we don't need to install it using npm. Just saying ng add, it gives us all the packages we need. Okay, say import, let's leave that one open. So let's say from, again, Angular Fire, we need to import what we want, that is Firebase, Firestore. Okay, and let's say we're going to import it in a second, the module. So just give me a second. So we have all this set from Angular Fire, and we're going to need the storage. We still don't have that, so I'm guessing we're going to add the storage bucket, because we need the bucket. So let's say Angular Firestore module, we want the module here, and Angular Fire Storage, the module, and we need the storage bucket. Okay, I already have a code review using Angular and Firebase, so it's similar to that, but of course we're going to build this one from scratch. Now we need to do something inside here, inside the providers. Okay, we're going to add, of course, this one's inside our imports in a second. Let's say provide storage bucket, comma, use value, and the value is going to be inside quotes. What is this value? This value is, okay, so let me just go to console. We already have this, so let's say storage. We don't have anything here. Let's say start, next, ready. So it creates this, and we need to give it inside this use value. We need to give the value of our storage bucket. And in a second I will show you where it is. Once this is done, this shouldn't take that long. Firebase got updated, so I'm expecting to have some troubles with this as I go, but everything should be fine, because since it got updated while I was working with the React context that is going to be released in the channel after this one. Okay, I actually know what they changed, just a few things. Okay, so we get this, we copy this and add it here. So let's say inside here, let's add, I'm just going to copy these two. I'm just going to copy these two. First, the Angular Fire Storage module and Firestore module, and we need to add our application. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. and paste it. Okay, you can type it, of course, Angular Fire module. We're going to use the Fire module and the initialize app, okay, a method, but we need to import the environment and use the, let's close this one, and use the Firebase object that contains all this. So we actually need, so let me see something, because yes, what we're going to do now, okay, you remember we got this, okay, we already have it in the clipboard, so let's paste it. No, so let's copy this again, let's paste it, but in this case we don't need this, okay, since we didn't add the the bucket, what we had in the settings didn't bring this since it wasn't added, okay, so it's just once you add it, copy this, remove this part, okay, the GS and the colon and the two dashes, the two slashes, and just leave this part, and that is all. So since we don't have this on the production, okay, so let's add it and save it, so that should work. And we need to import the environment, so let's say here, let's say environment, and let's say import the environment. We're going to import in a second, so you get the intelligence from, let's see where it is. It's inside environments and it's the environment, okay. So what we need here, we need environment, and from environment we get this Firebase that you can see. If we hover, we have all this, okay, that is our project configuration. So let's save this, and this should be working. Yep. So I'm going to add the lazy loading, so we have, you know, everything in its own video, the setup, this Angular configuration, and the lazy loading. So in case you want to bookmark the videos and come back later to just check that or download the videos, you are free to do that. And so you have just those parts, okay. So I'm going to end this one here, and we are going to add the lazy loading next.